The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Carsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Huth.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Cedar Fair, Cedar Point, and everything to do with fun. And if you don't recognize my voice, my name is Kyle. I used to host this show, and then
he's back.
I went MIA for about a month, but I'm back.
Yep.
Quick little housekeeping. Thank you for keeping the feed active for one of the weeks that I was gone.
Absolutely.
You guys did a good job. I listened to that whole show when I was on flights and whatnot.
Well, I'm glad it was able to get you through that long flight that you had to deal with, and also the hurricane too that you had to deal with as well.
Yeah,
You thought you escaped it, and then it just said hi to you.
And then it was like, hi.
Yeah, the funniest thing, it broke up into a tropical storm after you left Florida, or after it left Florida, and then reformed into a hurricane and hit me in Virginia.
It's like, guess what?
You thought you got off easy, Kyle. I'm coming for you.
As far as our specific situation goes, our apartment was fine. We had no damage, no flooding. We never lost power. We never lost water. So we got a lot luckier than a lot of our friends to the south.
Yeah.
So
definitely
Awesome
prayers for everyone that was affected and the lives that were lost for sure.
yeah, I mean, you can tell down here there's still damage, and there's still places that don't have gas, and I mean we're still very much dealing with it down here. But hey, life goes on. People rebuild, and yeah.
Rebuild better.
Yeah.
And bigger.
Yep.
So this was about a once every 10-year hurricane for Florida. And the good thing about hurricanes like this is when things do get, destroyed, demolished, they get built back better and up to a better code so that the next hurricane doesn't destroy it again.
Makes sense. For sure.
Looking at you, Jurassic River Adventure.
Yeah, I can confirm that Jurassic Boat River Adventure it's okay. It's fine.
Just a hole in the building.
They patched the hole.
Did they?
Hulk was underwater. It was running like 2 days later. That was fine.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy seeing it
Universal's newest water ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of talked
That's
about
not
it.
an original joke.
No, it's not. I kind of talked about it a little bit, but yeah, I was on a work trip. I know I haven't talked about it on the podcast, but I got a new job with a company called Drone Up. Drone Up does autonomous drone deliveries for Walmart. So, yeah, so Amazon and a couple other places have been doing this drone delivery thing for a while now. Walmart wanted to get in on it, subcontracted about 3 or 4 companies, and mine, Drone Up, was the one that won the bid. So now we are in the full scale up mode. So just for Orlando alone, within the next 2 weeks, we are opening 10 hubs. And a hub is essentially a air traffic control tower for drones, like a drone airport.
Okay.
And then in Tampa is opening 7, and that's just phase 1. All in all, by the end of the year, we are hoping to hire 130 pilots in Orlando and an additional 100 in Tampa.
Wow.
Jeez.
So if anybody listening is local to Orlando or Tampa and has a FAA Part 107 license and is looking for work, contact us.
Yeah.
Well, nice little
message the page. We'll definitely direct them towards you.
Yeah. So, starting a new job and everything means that I have to go through training. And obviously, where I'm going to be flying drones and delivering products above people and property, there's a little bit of extra training involved. So Drone Up is headquartered in Virginia Beach, and they got with this college. It was called Richard Bland College. It's a small 2-year commuter school, and they built a hub there for training. We use their classrooms. We stay in the dorms. We eat at the cafeteria. So they call it the Drone Up Flight Academy. So that's where I was for the past 2 weeks. It's a 2-week class, followed by 2 weeks on the job training, and then you're signed off.
So I take it you passed.
I did, yes. I have not passed my final check ride yet, just because we were grounded for weather for about 4 days due to the hurricane, and then another 2 for maintenance. So we missed a lot of flying time, but we're making it up. We're doing good. I'm where I need to be.
That's good.
Cool.
Good to hear.
Good stuff.
So while I was in Virginia, I know we teased this like a month ago, the last time I was on the show. I had some time to go to some parks. I was in Petersburg, Virginia, which was like an hour and 15 to Bush Williamsburg and an hour to Kings Dominion. So I did both of those parks.
Oh,
That's
nice.
so awesome.
You know what? I was thinking about this. You know, being in the hobby that we're in, there is undoubtedly, and it will be different for each person, but there's undoubtedly a ride or a roller coaster or whatever that got you into this fandom. You saw a video, whatever, and you were hooked. Am I right? Am I right in assuming that?
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
say so.
Okay. That ride for me when I was like 10 years old was Loch Ness Monster.
Okay. Respectable.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Aero Loopers. I loved Vortex. I don't really like Corkscrew, but I loved Vortex. So yeah.
Well, we'll get there.
We'll get there. I have some not so nice things to say about that. Yeah, so it was cool to get out there. I loved that park. Hot take, I'm not a big fan of the Florida counterpart of Busch Gardens Tampa, but I really liked Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I
feel like the Busch Gardens Tampa is almost like a knockoff Disney / Universal. Try to we push this park together kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like in the past few years it's gotten a little bit better since then. But yeah, I think probably because I believe they started in Virginia, I would assume. And then,
it was Busch Garden at the time. It was Busch Gardens Europe and Busch Gardens Africa.
Okay.
But anyway, I really liked that park. I went on Saturday, October 1st, and the forecast was terrible. It was supposed to rain all day. I wasn't even sure if I was going to go, but I did, and it was nice, and it was sunny, and it was warm, and there was nobody there. So I had the run of the place. I didn't stay for Howl-O-Scream, just because I could barely navigate that park in the daylight. It is one of the most confusing park layouts I've ever been to.
Yeah, it really is.
You got to know
Especially when you get like the back of the park.
Yeah.
Like
there's a lot of
Vader and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the forecast for Sunday did not look favorable, and I wanted to go to Kings Dominion, so I opted to leave Busch Gardens early and then drive to Kings Dominion.
So my dying
They're only an
question
hour
is-
apart.
Yeah.
My dying question is did you get to ride on Pantheon?
Yes, I got to ride Pantheon, and let me tell you, super, super solid ride.
Oh, so that
So
could
when
be
Dragster
like
has a swing launch spike, it's going to be a lot of fun.
right if Dragster has that.
Yeah, I mean, I've never experienced backwards.
Did you like close your eyes and be like, okay, vroom vroom vroom, Dragster, wee, and then,
Yeah, I actually put headphones in and I listened to the arms down, head back. Yeah.
baby, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I've never experienced backwards airtime before. That was a feeling that I don't know if I like, but it was really cool.
It's like a tickly feeling, isn't it? Right? Like yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. But no, it was.
I think I've experienced that.
It was super cool. That spike, you go a lot higher than you think you're going to. I mean, you go almost all the way up the thing.
I need to get there.
Let's go, Evan. Let's go. I'm not doing nothing Saturday. Let's go.
There is a
Day trip.
Hydra-esque roll as soon as you leave the station.
Okay.
So
wait, as soon as you leave the station?
Yeah, before you launch or anything.
It's quick little
go ahead.
thing. When you mentioned, the coaster that got you into this, and you said Loch Ness, Hydra for whatever reason was the one that got me.
Okay.
I don't know if it was satisfying to me as I was like 8. It's not that great of a ride. Well, I don't know. It's okay.
It's okay.
But you said the JoJo roll. I'm like, well, I gotta mention Hydra.
Yeah, it's different than Hydra in the fact that it's not as soon as you leave the station. Like you leave the station, you do like a little turnaround, and then
Isn't there a launch too?
This is before the launch.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, like super solid ride. It was a really good investment. It's pretty re-rideable too. I mean, I did it a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super smooth and everything as well.
Front, back.
I rode very, very back and close to front and dead middle.
Okay.
I liked back the best, but I tend to like back the best on most rides, so it wasn't that surprising.
And since we're all sharing our experiences, I would say Millennium Force got me into it. Just seeing pictures of it being built and making my grandma and grandpa drive out to Sandusky and take pictures over by Battery Park, which I had no idea was like existed over there, and watching all the construction and everything. That's what kind of did it for me.
Yeah, that's for whatever reason, mine was Loch Ness Monster. I probably saw one of those old like TPR vids back in the day.
Yeah, with the interlocking loops.
Yep.
That's such a cool. It's a cool looking coaster when you walk down that hill and you just see everything that's all together. Like, it's really cool.
God forbid you walk down that hill though, because good luck getting back up.
And before I go any farther, I think this has to win the award for prettiest park. It is so pretty.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my God. Over there in I guess it's between Germany and Italy.
Mm-hmm.
That bridge. Good Lord.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll just run through my list real quick. Loch Ness was super cool. It was pretty smooth, which some aero loopers are.
It was running pretty crappy last year.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that rough. I mean, I didn't headbang or anything. I mean, I didn't get thrown around. It was solid.
Yeah.
Good.
It reminds me almost of like Tornado, I think it is over at Dollywood.
Oh.
Tennessee Tornado.
Yeah, that's
Tennessee Tornado.
Alpengeists. I will say a couple things about this ride. I am generally not the biggest fan of B&M inverts. I think they're rough. I think if you sit anywhere except the front, you can't see. Alpengeist, I don't know what they do to that thing, but it runs like a dream. It is so smooth.
I love the theming with that too, because like
that's a really cool
ski thing, and you see
the
like
custom supports on the lift hill.
Yeah, but you could also see like the ski guy that like lost control, and you see his skis up and he's buried in the snow kind of.
It was a little concerning because I got into the station and I just walked into the first open row, which was second to back. And I noticed they're not letting people on, and there are maintenance guys in the station using their power tools and drills to do something to the restraints of the exact seat that I was going to sit in. And then so they drilled it up or whatever, and then they were like, okay, ready to load. And I was like, oh, we're going? Okay.
Was that your seat?
Yeah, that was my seat.
You're like, we're not going to test this at all or anything? We're just going to...
I looked around. I looked around, and everyone's like, ready to get on. And then we're going up the hill, and I hear, I'm really glad that I'm not the guy that's in that seat. I'm just like, okay, well, you know what? I've had a good run.
That's funny.
Yeah,
but that didn't take away from the ride experience.
No, the ride was super intense, super fast, really smooth. I loved it.
I've had such a love-hate relationship with that ride. Like, I used to hate it. Like, I don't know. I did not like it.
There's only one ride at Busch Williamsburg that I really didn't care for, which made me so sad because I was really looking forward to it. And that's Invader.
Oh, I like Invader. It's cute.
It's cute. It has everything to be a good ride, but it was rough. It was really rough. Well, I mean, I know
they gotta stop running the damn quasi trains on it.
Yeah, I know GCIs have a little bit of a rattle to them, and I like wooden coasters better than steel, so I'm game for a good rattle, a good
GCIs
rough.
Except Mystic.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. This one felt like they put it in 5 years ago, and they haven't touched it since.
Well, you're probably right.
The layout was fun. It was a really good size. Like,
the first drop is so fun in the back.
Yeah,
the tunnel and the little
it fits
hill.
so well in that park. It was just I don't think they've been taking good maintenance or good care of it.
That's sad.
Somebody call up Holiday World. Get them in there.
Yeah, get them in there to fix it. But one that I was expecting wasn't going to be that great that I loved was Apollo's Chariot.
Yeah, that's a good ride. I like it as a really, really solid ride.
Yeah, it was so smooth.
Gets a lot of hate too.
It does get a lot of hate, specifically from the Coast Radio audience, but I think that's more so to troll with Mike Collins.
So you're saying it doesn't suck?
It doesn't suck.
It does not suck.
I actually got faked out. I thought the ride was over, and then it just wasn't.
It has that one last really deep dip right at the end.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, that was a good ride. Then whoa!
I was like, oh, okay,
especially in the back.
That's great.
So yeah, that was super cool. It really, really good ride. It's not rattly like Diamondback.
Front or back?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Theme for the day.
Definitely a backseat.
Theme for the day was nothing had a line, so I rode one ride. I rode each ride at least in the front and at least in the back.
There you
Cool.
go.
Okay.
Yeah, Griffin was a solid.
Such a good ride.
It's a solid dive coaster. I'm not a big fan of dive coasters. It was solid.
I really like Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good.
I think I like that better than Shikra, the one that's down south.
Yeah,
I haven't ridden Shikra yet.
You know what? I'd have to agree with you, Karsten. I think it is too.
I'm going to hold my. I'm not going to say my opinion because we're a Cedar Fair podcast.
Okay.
All right,
But I think you all know what I mean by
Yeah.
that little tip.
Verbolten. That was
Yukon
super
Strike.
cool.
Oh, that ride's so fun.
I got
Yes.
the
Don't spoil anything. Don't spoil anything for the people that haven't ridden. The little surprise.
Okay. No, I'm not going to spoil that.
Okay.
You have 3 different show scenes you can get when you're in the building.
Mm-hmm.
I got wolves both times. I don't know what the other ones
Oh,
are.
that's sad.
I got wolves both times.
I don't even know what. Honestly, they're not so remarkably different from each other that it makes the experience any different. Like it's not like getting Maneater on the Septembers.
Yeah, I loved the ride. I hated the cue recording where like every 30 seconds it's like, "We're glad to see you've made it back from the forest."
Oh, fishing!
Yeah, I didn't need to hear that
Shut up!
20 times.
Yep.
Wait.
Yep.
When you have a long wait, like a 20-minute wait, all you hear is that, and you're like, "Dear God."
Oh, you hear it in your sleep.
Yeah.
You hear it in your sleep. The theming's great though.
And then I'm only missing one, and that's Tempesto. And
That's okay.
I saved it for last because I've been on this exact ride before at a couple different parks.
It's cool. It's okay.
I really don't like the restraints that Bush puts on these.
No.
The comfort
And the
collars.
stupid ZRG roll at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little much, but you know.
Other
Like you had a good time at the park though.
Yeah, other than that, I saw the Monster Stomp show. That was pretty cool. I got a beer in Grogan's Pub in the middle of the day. That was cool, just to go in and sit down and relax.
Did you go to the secret speakeasy?
No, I tried to, but you have to book reservations for it.
Oh,
And they were all booked up for that day.
Okay.
really? Well,
Yeah.
well, we know what everybody was doing at the park that day.
Yeah, there were probably about 1,000 cars in the parking lot, so I bet all of them were in that speakeasy.
It's possible. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Where in the park is that? Up front?
Dude, I have no idea.
All right, fair.
I was so lost at that place. I was like trying to look on Google Maps and the park maps and like, okay, if I go.
And you had never been there before.
No, I'd never been there, and of course they don't give out maps anymore because why would they? Right. So I'm like,
You got to download their app and
Yeah.
then download the map to your phone and then
And
scan
then
a
hope
QR code.
Yeah.
And then
yeah. So I'm looking around, going like, okay, if I go back to this ride, there's this one little pathway that looks like it might just dead end, but hopefully it doesn't. It was a confusing park layout, but 10 out
I'll
of 10.
take you there the next time. I know that park pretty well.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Love that park. So cool. Can't wait
Yeah.
to go back.
Yes. Did you eat anything there?
I had a pretzel at Grogan's.
Oh,
I didn't eat any food.
All right. Because this is also like low-key a food podcast. So
Their food is good.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I generally don't go to amusement parks long enough to warrant eating there.
Fair.
Oh yeah, you're backing up your theory of I don't eat at amusement parks, so there you go.
Yeah, I didn't eat at King's Dominion either.
oh, but they have like prime rib now or something.
Yeah, but he doesn't have
I don't have
the
a meal
meal
plan.
plan, so he's like, meh.
This is
It's only $22
Going
for
to
an entree to side.
going to King's Dominion in October is the first time I have used my Cedar Fair pass since July. So just think about that.
Wow.
Jeez.
Did you have to
Yeah,
dust the
yeah.
dust off of it?
Yeah, I went. So King's Dominion was a little bit of a weird adventure. They had closed the day before for the hurricane. They had said they weren't going to close Saturday. Saturday morning comes around. They say, we're still going to open, but not until 5. So I got there right at 5. And I know we're a Cedar Fair podcast. And I don't like to be negative on parks. And I'm going to try my best not to be. But I had such good memories of King's Dominion. And that park just does not live up to them anymore. The rides are fun, but everything's dirty. It looks run down. Like the infrastructure is old. And maybe this is just because for the past couple of years we've been so blessed with how much effort they're putting into Kings Island, and that's what I was expecting.
Maybe,
but
and maybe all their off-season maintenance went over to Jungle X or something.
Yeah, Jungle X looks beautiful, like awesome, solid. I'll talk about that in a minute, but just overall, like I had fun. Don't get me wrong; it's still a good park.
You still have I-305.
You just had higher expectations for it being a Cedar Fair park.
Yes,
but when you went there, you were like, "Oh, it's a low grade kind of Cedar Fair park."
Cedar Fair, they hold themselves to a little bit of a higher standard with park cleanliness and things like that, and I just don't think that it lived up to it. But then again, the last time I went there was 8 years ago, so like maybe
you probably weren't even aware of
maybe
stuff at that point. You were just a twitcher that was ready to ride I-305.
Right.
At Volcano.
He's like, I want to go and ride it.
That's all the negative things I'm gonna say. Like, I still had a blast. The week before was that whole like arson thing, and it was pretty busy in a park that I just got done telling you felt kind of dirty to me. So I didn't stay for Haunt. I went in, I rode the rides, and I got out. I will talk about Jungle X though. Jungle X was really cool. That area seems super nice. It's super well done. There's decent theming for a Cedar Fair park, which we don't see very often. Like if the rest of that park could just be upgraded to that level, and not even just that level, just refreshed, I'd be really happy.
I just feel like they probably, they didn't put their normal off-season attention into the rest of the park, and they really made sure Jungle X was a hit.
I think so too, and unfortunately it shows. Like I said, I'm done being negative. I don't like to be negative. I like to see the best in every park, and it's still a fun park. It serves its purpose.
Hopefully, obviously the pandemic, has had, its way with parks and stuff and everything. So I'm sure, financially, maybe, they allocated money elsewhere in other Cedar Fair parks and stuff. So maybe within the next few years or whatever, it'll get back.
Well, and their 50th anniversary is coming up soon.
Yeah, so they're going to get that.
They're going to really, So then that'll be they're like kind of like laying low and kind of keeping everything to a minimum. Yeah. And then they're going to blow it up and have a big celebration for it.
Tumbili was really, really fun. I rode both sides. I'm a fan of these like S&S free spin. I think they're really cool. They're short, but I think they're really fun.
Yeah, this is even the smaller model too, right?
Yeah, this is the smaller model, and I had a empty seat next to me, so I just flipped and flipped and flipped.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Well, that's cool though.
It's nice to ride one of those too. That's not themed to the Joker.
Yeah.
It's actually like themed.
Right. Well, the employees in Jungle X 2, now I'm thinking about it, were themed shirts. Like, cool. You'd go to Universal or Disney, and the different areas would correlate to different themed uniforms. They were doing that at King's Dominion.
Wow. I'm sure there was a giant hole where Volcano used to be.
There was a giant hole where Volcano used to be. Oof. You were right.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
I hope for their 50th, or maybe, a year before, a year after, they get a giant coaster that can like fill that void.
Yeah.
I hope. I love Volcano.
That was such a good coaster.
Their bobsled coaster, Reptilian, as fun as I remember. Yeah.
I love that ride.
That was a cool one. I like that one. That's cool.
Racer 75, a good, fun, classic out and back. Not as good as... Running well, but not as well as Racer, given that Racer at Kings Island has been rehauled.
Basically rebuilt.
Yeah.
Intimidator 305 is still as good as I remember, and I still black out at the bottom of the hill.
I was going to say, did you gray out?
I didn't gray out. I blacked out.
Oh,
okay. My God. You were out.
I was out.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
For anybody that doesn't know, when it was first built, they had to change like the supports and like the turn and everything.
Change the track a little bit because
there was too much G-force on the rider, and so a lot of people were graying out or blacking out, and so they were trying to.
And they still are. Yeah. See, I think Kyle just got soft because of all the weak Florida coasters.
Right.
Yeah, probably. But
all those 40 screens and everything.
To be fair, the last time I rode I-305, it was not much better. So.
Drivers, start your engines.
They still do that.
Cool.
That is about the only thing Dale Earnhardt besides the car out front anymore.
Mm-hmm. Which is sad.
which is sad. You have to think that sponsorship is close to being over.
Yeah, I think that's going to get a retheme and tie it into Jungle X. I really do.
It might, yeah.
It'd be really cool if they could do that with Flight of Fear too.
They're going to call it Blue Thunder because it's red. I don't know why.
No, Centurion. Centurion will finally make an appearance.
There we go.
Grizzly, I did not get on. I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures, but it is torn up right now.
I saw that.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
I did not know that.
They're doing either GCI Great Coasters or GCI Gravity Group or King's Dominion
thank God, 'cause that
carpentry
ride was
overhaul.
Yeah, the top of the lift hill, right? Was missing?
Yep.
Like completely just gone?
Yep, it was gone.
See, we're Cedar Fair podcast. We got to do better covering this news. I have no idea.
It's all right.
It's Grizzly. It's fine.
I didn't ride Great Pumpkin Coaster. I didn't feel the need to. I didn't ride Flight of Fear.
You didn't get the new credit?
That's okay.
No, didn't do Flight of Fear.
Oh, man.
Dominator?
Dominator was just as fun as I remember.
Yeah,
Good.
you got to ride it when it was at Jogga Lake, right?
I didn't, no.
Oh, okay.
Us youngins over here.
I've only rode it at King's Dominion. I still think that it is just so awkwardly placed in that park,
Yes.
but fun ride.
Yeah, it is very
Yeah, it's a good
like
ride.
it's just like, okay, we got a coaster, we got this little amplet, like, whoop,
Yeah.
Backlot was fun, but I still think the best backlot in the Cedar Fair chain is at Canada's Wonderland.
Okay. Haven't heard in that one.
Apple's Apple was a wild mouse.
Fun.
Yeah,
What is
that's
kinda
like a
your first
traditional wild mouse. Like
yep.
that's
It doesn't spin
Well,
or anything.
not really,
doesn't
though.
spin though.
Because this one actually at least has a drop before all the zigzag crap.
Okay, fair.
I just got done talking about how I loved Aero Loopers, not Anaconda. If they
Yeah, it kinda sucks.
if they want to tear this thing out, and the problem is they don't have the manpower, I will move to Virginia and help them tear this thing out. It is terrible.
You know what? I will actually chain myself to Anaconda because I actually like Anaconda.
No, you don't. No,
You need to get your priorities straight.
it is not good. I went in and I was like, it's an Aero Looper. It can't be that bad. It was bad.
It sucks.
Hey,
It's terrible.
when Britt and I did a 1-day trip, literally a day trip, left super early in the morning at 4 a.m, got back at 4 a.m. We rode Anaconda a few times and we loved it. So,
And then besides Tumbili, my only new credit at King's Dominion was Twisted Timbers.
that's a good one.
That's
a sleeper.
It is a really good one.
Yeah.
I've heard a couple different people say that's better than Legends.
I don't agree with that, but it's good.
Yeah. It's a good ride.
If it was like maybe a minute and a half longer, I'd probably
Right.
stick maybe. But yeah,
That zero J roll drop those are just fun.
that's fun. Yeah.
They use the same locker system that Steel Vengeance does.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Set up a little better though.
Set up a little bit better, functions a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's
But-
probably
I have
because
a bunch of people getting off the ride.
do they have
where's the
more
lockers?
space? Is that?
Yeah,
You're
probably.
able to just like line up the exit better with it. You don't have to go down a separate path, if I remember. Like the exit
Probably
just leads
it's
right
probably
up
a
to it.
spacing issue.
Yeah, the exit leads, and there's a big sign in front of you that says, turn right to go back to park, turn left to go to lockers.
Wow.
Needed.
That is definitely needed at Cedar Point.
Yeah.
For, Steel
They need to like paint it on the ground.
I feel bad for those ride ups because we'll be over there by the exit and we'll just see, every train every 3 minutes, like, hey, is this where I go get my stuff? Where's the lockers at? Like,
Where's the
no.
lockers? Left at the
Where's the
Dippin'
lockers?
Dot
Where's the
stand.
lockers?
Left at the
Yeah.
Dippin' Dot
Yep.
stand.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like it doesn't ask how my day's going or anything like that.
I really like that. I really like that inverted drop. I think that's super fun.
Yeah. And then after the overbank, those 3 straight camelbacks that are just
Yeah.
very
It's very-
straight up ejector.
It's like Steel Vengeance Mini.
Yeah, I felt like when we hit the brake run, my torso would be like on the track and my legs would still be stuck in the car. But, it was fun.
Well, that's good. You at least didn't, split in half. That's cool.
Yeah. And then
Positive.
that was it for my trip to King's Dominion. Like I said, it's not that I felt unsafe, but their Saturday haunt crowd gave me bad vibes, and I really didn't want to be there for haunt. Like, I know that sounds terrible, but something in my head was telling me, hey, don't stay here long. Like, get in and get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, you were by yourself and
Yeah.
everything. So it's kind of like, you go to the haunted house, you're like, oh, who are you supposed to like be scared with, you know?
Yeah. So I was in and out in 1 hour and 17 minutes. That is how long it took me to do everything.
That explains that the park was completely dead.
The park was dead. When I was leaving, it looked like there were more people coming in.
Oh, I'm sure for their.
I wonder if they had a lighter crowd that night because they didn't open till 5 or something.
Probably.
Maybe it wasn't going to be that bad tonight anyway.
It ended up working out for me because I was able to do Busch in the morning and then Kings Dominion in the evening, and then they didn't open on Sunday. They closed.
Oh.
Or I'm sorry. They opened, but they closed at 2.
Oh.
Yeesh.
For the weather.
Because of the hurricane?
Yeah.
So, that makes sense, though. Swirling.
Yeah, and then I came home, got home on Sunday, this past Sunday, went over to Horror Nights last night, and tonight I'm going to Disney, so right back into it.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm sorry for taking up so much airtime, but that's kind of where I've been and why I haven't been here as often. But, you know, I'm back. I'm settled in, so I should be here. I should be getting from here on out.
Well, you didn't miss a whole lot, except an alpaca being.
Yeah, so good segue into our next topic. I hear that there is an alpaca at Cedar Point named Churro.
And he is the cutest and the fluffiest and the softest thing in the world.
He is so fuzzy.
And that is all I know is that, like, the public was allowed to vote on his name, and that's how we got
I forget.
Churro.
What were the other name options, Carsten? Do you remember?
There was Tony. Tony Clark posted the vote on his Twitter. There was Tony. There was Churro.
I'm looking. Charlie Brown and Woodstock.
Okay.
Churro's the best name. Sorry, Tony.
And also, like, he looks like a churro. So
yeah, he's just like cute and fuzzy, and he's the same color as a churro, and
he's so nice. He's so friendly.
Yeah, he's so friendly. So I got to visit him, and the like, I'm not gonna. Zookeeper is not the right word. I don't know. Barn keeper.
The employees of the barnyard.
Yeah, sure. Why not? She was super friendly and picked up Churro and was like holding him out to people because he's still like
still tiny,
really small. You could pick him
up. So wait. She let you pet him?
Yeah, so she would pick him up and like go up against the fence so that everybody would get a chance to pet him. He was horrified. He hated every minute of that. But he was so soft and fluffy, and his mom was in there too. His mom's name is Tina, which I just kept laughing because I kept thinking of, even though it's a llama from the Napoleon Diner.
I was thinking that Tina.
So I'm a little confused at where this alpaca came from. Did it get on a bus and end up at Cedar Point? Did one of the alpacas that Cedar Point has have a baby? Where did this
Tina
thing
had
come
a baby?
From? Okay,
Tina was there and had a baby.
Okay,
I don't know who Dad is. But
well, hopefully Dad's ready to pay child support.
Right. Mom and son have a really good relationship because the person who worked at the barnyard would set Churro down after tormenting him and letting all these snotty little kids pet him. And he would literally run straight back to his mom. It was the cutest thing. And like hide behind her. It was really cute.
If anybody wants to see Churro and maybe pet him, there is the petting
They're open until 6 every day. The barnyard.
Yeah, the barnyard. You can go check out. There's like camels. It's right underneath Millennium Force's lift hill, like right on the Frontier Trail.
In a really messed up fashion. It's if you go to Slaughterhouse, it's right in front of Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, you won't see. That'll be open at night ish.
Yeah,
but you won't really see because they close that stuff down at like 6 or 5 or whatever. But yeah, if you want to take a break from the thrills,
all messed up.
Have that. The slaughterhouse is right next there. It's kind of interesting. Not exactly sure if Tina likes that, but
So some goats.
Being gone for as long as I was, I really didn't keep up on any Cedar Point news. I was just too busy. So what's going on with Top Throw Dragster?
Well, there is a lot going on.
Yeah, I guess our question of if the tower could support itself has been answered.
Good.
Because it is currently supporting itself.
Yeah. Literally, like the track is missing from pretty much, I would say, the engine house all the way around until about the finish line. Like
any piece of track that had any sort of mechanism on it, whether that be brakes or launch or drive tires or anything, is gone. The supports are there, but it's gone.
Yeah. So we don't
The
know.
transfer track is missing.
Yeah, everything's gone. Support is still up. We're not exactly sure. Maybe this coming Thursday, tomorrow, maybe we'll see like, oh, hey, by the way, the supports are all gone. I don't know. There's
Maybe we'll pull down the causeway and see it's just gone.
yeah, right. Part of the tower is starting to come down. Like it's just a guess. It's kind of fun though. I'm not gonna lie. Like you literally drive up and you're like, oh, the tower is still standing, and I don't see a giant crane sitting next to it, kind of
So
thing.
that's a plus.
Yeah, yeah. But
yeah, it's
they're
just
moving.
the tower.
They're moving rapidly. So,
but I should mention that that's all that's missing. Like the station is still there, the air gates are still there, the line is still
even
there.
the Christmas tree, the
Christmas tree is still there.
Yeah,
on the tower and on the ground. The bleachers
Yeah.
are still there. The finish line's still there. I think the entrance is still there.
it looks like it.
So
Looks like it. Yeah.
it's just the track that's missing at this point.
Interesting.
If you want a good view, don't take your pictures on
I
the
was gonna
ride.
say, do we have to throw in our
Yeah.
our asterisks?
Yes.
Don't take your pictures on the rides, but you can get a good view on Power Tower, Iron Dragon, or I heard Gemini. You can get a good view on Gemini.
I could see that. Honestly, you could see it really good from Valerie too,
So they
on around the corner.
don't take your pictures on the ride. Just take it in with your eyes.
If you want to see it, buy the Valerie lift.
Yeah.
You could, yeah. I don't think those are going on anymore though.
I would not want to do that in the 40-degree mornings.
So,
wind.
Speaking of Halloweekends starting up again tomorrow, you Ohio folks have 3 weekends of park operation left at Cedar Point.
Don't even.
Don't say this.
You're such a jerk. You're like, well, 3-4 weeks, I'll be going to Disney and riding.
Yeah, on October 31st, this dude's going to be
4
at
weeks.
Universal.
I'm going to Disney tonight.
Oh, geez, this guy.
So this far into the season, normally at Halloweekends, the scare actors are hitting their marks really well, and the houses are about as good as they're going to get. What are your rankings?
So we talked about doing this before the show, but what I didn't ask is, do we want to do like house rankings and then scare zone rankings, or do we just want a whole
I say we just do
conglomerate?
houses.
Let's do house.
Okay.
Each of you just say you're in order.
All right. God, I got to think about this. I'm going to go bottom to top.
Okay, and then give a very brief explanation of why you say this.
Okay. And I'm going to preface this with they're all good this year.
Yes.
Like this is not a knock on anybody. So I'm going to put Freak Show at the bottom because that's the only one that hasn't changed like at all. It's just the same Freak Show that it's been. But again, they're knocking it out of the park. They're doing a great job.
I
But
agree.
I would say that's my least favorite just because there hasn't been any changes to it. Next, I would say Hexed, so fourth.
Oh,
And that's
man.
because
That was my house.
it's good, but again, I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. They did add some, but that's just like blacklit riddles on the wall in the first half of the house. So that's really it. So again, basically the same, but
That's disappointing. That's the first house I ever worked.
no, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I mean,
And the black lights obviously. So
it is getting up there in years anyway.
it is. I'm waiting for like a complete overhaul.
I think
with
next
D&D
year's. I think next
deprivation.
year's 10 years, isn't it?
Wow. Baby.
Yes. It opened in 13 or 14. I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Then I would say Slaughterhouse. Again, because not mostly changed. Because besides a little bit on the outside where the chainsaw can really come after you, which is a really, really good addition and awesome views of Millennium. Do I Erie Estate number one because I'm biased? Or Bloodbath number one because it's truly a really good house?
Taking out your memories of working in Erie Estate, how is it?
Erie Estate,
Or whatever the hell
Is-
it's called this year.
The Haunting of Erie Estate, whatever. It's basically the same house, but I do really, really like the pre-show thing. I think it's cute.
Yeah.
And I do like that everybody in there recognizes me from last year. Well, not everybody, but a good portion of the people that worked in there say hi to me. So, all right, I'll give that one number 2 because I don't actually get scared in there because everybody's just like, hey, what's up? Because they know me, which I probably shouldn't have said that because that's going to No,
Sorry.
they scare the bejesus out of me. They scare the bejesus out of me. but I do really like that house, and I gotta say Bloodbath because it's new, and it's. I mean, it is Club Blood 2.0, but it's also not. Like I always like Club Blood's theme, and they're kind of jumping off of that. I really like it, and the scares in there have been super good. That I love the alleyway scene with the chain link fences. The actors in there have always been super good job, and really good scares in there. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep, that's my ranking.
I'd say for me, from what, like again, I would say that every one of them is really top notch, and all the scare actors are really hitting their strides, especially this year. It just feels like there's more energy.
It's so good this year.
Just more everything. But I would say probably number one, or I'm sorry, from what
Bottom top.
bottom to top. There we go. Sorry, I worked a long day today. Hext is probably my bottom. It was okay.
Poor Kyle.
All right. I just don't. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you like. Obviously, it's nice to have a haunted house up there, but I feel like it gets forgotten, and I forget about it a lot. And that's probably why. Not the only reason why it would be in my bottom, but it's just like when I went through it, the scares were good, but it was okay. I think it's time for a refresh. Yes, a little stale. I think also my second going for would be Slaughterhouse. I think Slaughterhouse is really good. But there wasn't a whole lot of jump scares, which was interesting. They like to interact with you more than there was interaction with that. And I do like that part at the very end, with what you were saying. And obviously seeing Millennium Force. And then also I would probably say Freak Show is number 3 for me. I got some really good scares in there. Like I was going through and like by the elephant and stuff, like it was good. Like there was some good pop scares there. Also by the I can't, like the big guy that's like always making noises and stuff, whatever. It's like an animatronic thing. That kind of got me and stuff and everything. And then also the drop down doors. I love those drop down doors.
Yeah.
Just like coming around and boom, and it's like, whoa. Cause like
the drop panels.
Be like,
those are.
You could be like a cool buff dude and I'm on a date and I'm awesome, cool. And then all of a sudden that thing drops on you. And you're like, oh, and you scream like a girl. And so
yep.
I would also say number 2 is going to be The Haunting of Erie Estate. I really do like that pre-show. I think it sets the house up really, really well. I wish that they would interact. I wish they would have put more Mr. Midnight into it per se. Because that's kind of like where they were going with.
That goes for all the houses, I think.
But and then obviously
we'll give them a couple years.
But Bloodbath is, I mean, just the energy's there. There. I like the club atmosphere. It seems like they keep adding more and more things to the house. Like there's a lot.
Yeah, I really think Bloodbath is going to really hit its stride next
year. Yeah. Like there's a lot more. It seems like when you go through it, there's like it's like crazy foggy now. The lights are hitting really good. The music's out loud. Like I remember the first week I went in and the music was kind of like soft and kind of now they've turned it up, and like just there seems to be a lot more like actors in there and shaking. Like when I went in there where they're shaking the fence and just like getting in your grill, not like in your face, but I was just like, wow,
it really that alleyway scene. It really feels like you were outside in a dark alley.
Yeah, you're like boom, boom in the club, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what just happened? And so yeah, it's good stuff. So that's my ranking. So hopefully, Kyle, you'll be able to come closing weekend and finish it out.
That is to be announced. Might happen, might not.
Got to use that CP rundown credit card.
Yeah, and I am just getting the notification that we have 10 minutes left. So
sounds good.
Let's finish up some housekeeping and get you on your way.
Let's do it.
The photo contest. Let's plug that again.
Yeah, so we still got that photo contest. Anybody wants to submit a photo for our photo contest, it's going to be for the 2023 CP Rundown calendar. Feel free to email the page on Facebook, and we can get you details if you want, or you can look through all the posts and find the postings that we've been posting about it. And it kind of gives you a little bit about what we're looking for and what kind of photos we're looking for.
I would say definitely direct message us though, because we're not going to be looking through the comments at your.
Don't put on the comments, but direct message us and say, hey, I want to submit a photo. How do I submit a photo? And one of us will get a hold of you and with instructions. So yeah.
Yeah. And don't be butthurt if yours doesn't make it. There's only 12 months out of the year.
Yeah, we've been sent just real being real for a minute. We've been sent over 200 submissions. So,
Oh my God.
and we only have 12 months, so we only can pick 12 pictures. So yeah.
And yeah, can't do a collage or anything.
Yeah, unfortunately,
We
with
wanna-
the software and everything with the new calendar, you can't do a collage. Unfortunately,
That was as of what, like 2021 or 2022?
yeah. They changed their new software and it cuts a lot of things out, and so it just didn't work out very well. So, and then real plug, real fast. I know that we are going a little fast. The construction going on over at the beach.
Yeah.
They did finally.
Oh yeah, we do have a brand new coaster coming next year.
Right. The Wild Mouse. They did pour the foundation for it. Track pieces are still continuing to come in. It looks like over by the Express Hotel. We're not taking pictures of that because they kind of have it hidden and they're not wanting pictures of it. So
Go stay in the Express Hotel and get a room facing that way.
yeah, there you go.
Get the park some money. And Grand Pavilion's really coming along nicely.
It really is,
seems to be pretty. The I don't know, the beams for the roof.
The roof is starting to come along, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to. I'm getting visions and excited to see it, and have a drink with you, Kyle, when you come back to Ohio next year.
You know, I know we haven't really gone into too much how this is going to work in the off season. That being said, this is our 16th episode, so we really appreciate. Yeah, we've been doing this for at least 16 weeks.
Yeah,
so that's cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of a milestone.
Yeah, we started shortly before I went to
we're
Poland.
close to 100 followers. I know that. So
Awesome.
Thank you.
Getting plenty of downloads.
Oh yeah,
Which I mean, and it's definitely like I don't think everybody that listens downloads it. A lot of people just listen to it. So
No, I see the numbers. A lot of people stream it on. Oh God, what's the other?
iHeartRadio.
No,
no,
I
we're
don't
not
think.
on that.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. TBH.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Spotify. A lot of
Okay,
people
good,
stream
good.
on Spotify rather than download, which is fine.
Yeah. Hey, if you're listening to us, we're happy. That's all that matters.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna count last week as kind of our mid-season break.
Yeah.
And you know, once we figure out how we're gonna do this thing in the off season, we will let you know.
Yeah,
We might
we're just
record
gonna-
next week. We might not.
Yeah,
We'll
we're
see.
not exactly sure if we're going to record next week. So just to give
That
you
is
guys
correct.
just a heads up.
It depends on what happens with drag show this week, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right.
Or if Wild Mouse starts going.
Yeah, maybe it'll be like a little tiny, like 15-minute, 20-minute update if we do.
Or
Yeah.
maybe I'll go to Kings Island and have something to talk about that. Oh,
I mean, I
Kristen,
did-
you could talk about Kings Island next week. There we go. Boom.
There we
You know
go.
what?
There's our show next week.
I forgot. You know what? I kind of took the spotlight. I'm sorry. I forgot that you went to Kings Island. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah,
Sounds good. Yeah, I was able to do all the haunted houses, and so yeah.
Even
no,
if it's just like a quick hits little.
Yeah.
Here's Carson's trip report, and me and Kyle just sit here. Wow, sounds great. Awesome.
Cool.
Okay, good night.
right.
Well, I can't wait to hear about it. You know, again, thank you for listening. It still blows my mind that people will sit down and listen to us talk about Cedar Point for 16 weeks in a row. That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Soon will
really
be 16 seasons.
Yeah.
wow.
So have a great rest of the week, everybody. Have an awesome time out at the parks. Enjoy the last few weeks of Cedar Point operation. We might be back next week. We might not. But either way, have a good night, everybody. We will see you on the midway. Be kind to your ride operators, and good night.
Bye, guys.